اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم۔ انتہائی محترم حاضرین مجلس، السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ۔ آج کی اس تربیتی نشست کے اندر ہم مرکز اسلامی کلچر سینٹر کی جانب سے آپ تمام کو دل کی اتھاہ گہرائیوں سے خوش آمدید کہتے ہیں۔ ہمارے پاس اس وقت یو کے سے محترم فاروق مراد صاحب اور خواتین جو معزز مہمانان یو کے سے آئی ہیں، ہمارے پاس ڈنمارک سے 5 بیٹیاں اس پروگرام میں شرکت کے لیے آئی ہیں، اور سویڈن سے محترم فرقان بھائی۔ آپ تمام کو آج کی اس نشست کے اندر خوش آمدید کہتے ہیں۔ آج کی اس نشست کا آغاز ہم اللہ جل شانہ کے پاک کلام سے کرتے ہیں۔
اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم، بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم، تبارک الذی بیدہ الملک وهو على كل شيء قدير، الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور، الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت، فارجع البصر هل ترى من فطور، ثم رجع البصر قرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو حسير، ولقد زينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيح وجعلناها رجوما للشياطين واعتدنا لهم عذاب السعير، وللذين كفروا بربهم عذاب جهنم وبئس المصير، صدق اللہ العظیم۔
ابھی حال ہی میں ناروے کے اندر ایک افسوسناک واقعہ پیش آیا کہ قرآن مجید کو چند افراد نے جلانے کی کوشش کی۔ یہ اس طرح کے واقعات ہمارے لیے بڑے سبق آموز ہیں۔ یہ ان واقعات سے ہمیں سیکھنا چاہیے کہ لادین اور سیکولر لوگ جو ہیں وہ بڑے منظم انداز سے دین کے اوپر یلغار کیے ہوئے ہیں۔ یہ لوگ منظم بھی ہیں، ان کے پاس وسائل بھی ہیں، علم کے اوپر ان کا عبور بھی ہے، اور پھر سب سے بڑھ کے یہ لوگ بڑے تربیت یافتہ بھی ہیں۔ لیکن اس کے مقابلے میں مسلمانوں کی کیا حالت ہے کہ مسلمان آپس میں بہت سے گروہوں کے اندر بٹے ہوئے ہیں، وسائل کی بھی کمی ہے۔ آپ اس سارے واقعہ کے اندر دیکھیں تو بہت تھوڑے، پاکستان اور ترکی 2 ممالک کی طرف سے باقاعدہ اس کے اوپر کوئی سٹیٹمنٹ آئی ہے۔ یعنی یہ بڑے دکھ کی بات ہے کہ ہم اس طرح منظم ہو کے بغیر وسائل کے یہ سارے کام وہ کرتے آ رہے ہیں۔ امن مسلمان وہ آگ بجھانے والا کام کرتے ہیں، کہ ابھی ادھر آگ لگی تو آپ نے اس کو بس بجھانے کی کوشش کی اور اس کے بعد ٹھنڈے ہو کے بیٹھ جاتے ہیں. ہم یہ نہیں سوچتے کہ یہ آگ لگی کیوں اور آئندہ کس طرح لگے گی، تو ہم اس کے لیے کیا اپنی پلاننگ کریں. تو ہمارے کاموں کے اندر لمبی پلاننگ وہ موجود نہیں ہوتی. ہم وقتی طور پہ آگ کو بجھانے کی کوشش کرتے ہیں. ہمارے پاس وسائل تو موجود ہیں لیکن ان کا ہم درست طریقے سے استعمال نہیں کرتے. ہمارے لیے ضرورت اس بات کی ہے کہ جو اسلامی تنظیمیں ہیں وہ اپنے آپ کو منظم کریں، ایسے منصوبہ جات بنائیں جو 10 سال اور 20 سال کے اوپر مشتمل ہوں. یہ آگ جو لگتی ہے اس کو لگنے سے پہلے اس کا ہم سد باب کریں، اور اس آگ کے لگنے کے جو اسباب ہیں اس کے لیے ہم تیار ہوں. اور یہ آگ آپ نے دیکھا کہ یورپ کے اندر پچھلے چند سالوں کے اندر وہ تھوڑی دیر بعد لگ رہی ہے. اگر ہم ایسے ٹولز تیار کریں، ایسے افراد تیار کریں جو تربیت یافتہ بھی ہوں، جو بالکل تیار ہوں کہ ہم نے اس معاشرے کے اندر رہتے ہوئے کام کس طرح کرنا ہے، تو یقینی طور پہ ہم ان کا سد باب، اپنے نقطہ نظر کا دفاع بہت اچھے انداز سے کر سکتے ہیں. اس طرح کی تربیت گاہیں اور اجتماعیت، الحمدللہ اسلامی کلچر سینٹر اس معاشرے کے اندر ایک بڑا خوبصورت مسلمانوں کا نمائندہ ادارہ ہے. اور اس نمائندہ ادارے کے ذریعے ہماری یہ خواہش ہے کہ آپ لوگ تربیت حاصل کریں، آپ لوگ منظم ہوں، آپ لوگ تربیت حاصل کر کے اس معاشرے کے اندر اپنے دین کا نقطہ نظر جو ہے اس کو بیان کر سکیں. لیکن آپ لوگ اگر تیار نہیں ہوں گے، یہ آگ لگتی رہے گی، ہم اس کو بجھانے کی بس عارضی کوشش کریں گے، اور جس وقت وہ آگ بجھ جاتی ہے تو ہم ٹھنڈے ہو کے بیٹھ جاتے ہیں اور دنیا کی اس رنگ رنگینیوں کے اندر پھر گم ہو کے بیٹھ جاتے ہیں. کرنے کا کام یہ ہے کہ ہم اپنے بچوں کو تیار کریں، اور جو ہمارا قرآن ہے، جو ہمارے نبی مہربان صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم پہ وہ بارہا دفعہ انہوں نے مختلف انداز سے خاکے بنائے، مختلف چیزیں کی ہیں، ان کی تیاری ہم جو ہے وہ کریں، اپنے بچوں کی تربیت کریں، اپنے بچوں کو مساجد کے ساتھ لگائیں. تو اس طرح کی یہ تربیت گاہیں یہ ہمیں مسلسل کرنی ہے. ہمیں اپنے افراد کو تیار کرنا ہے کہ وہ ذہنی طور پہ تیار ہو کے اس کام کو کریں اور پورے شعور کے ساتھ کریں کہ یہ کام ہم کیوں کرتے ہیں. اس کام کو کرنے کے لیے پھر میں اس طرح کی تنظیموں کے اندر، جو اسلامی تنظیمیں آپ کی آواز ہیں، جو آپ کے کام کو آگے بڑھا سکتی ہیں، آپ کو اس کے ساتھ تعاون بھی کرنا ہوگا، اس کے ساتھ آپ نے اپنا وقت بھی دینا ہوگا. یہ وقت دیے بغیر جو ہے یہ کام نہیں ہو سکتا، یہ انفرادی طور پہ کام نہیں ہو سکتا، اس کو اجتماعی طور پہ ہمیں سب کو مل کے کرنا ہوگا اس کام کو. تو اس کام کو کرنے کے لیے آپ لوگ الحمدللہ اسلامی کلچر سینٹر کے ساتھ وابستہ ہیں، لیکن یہ کافی نہیں ہے. ہمیں ہر وقت انفرادی طور پہ بھی اور اجتماعی طور پہ بھی اس سسٹم کے ساتھ بڑھتے ہوئے آپ کے اندر جو صلاحیت ہے اس کے مطابق جو ہے وہ یہاں پہ اپنا کام جو ہے اس کو آگے بڑھانے کی کوشش کرنی ہوگی. اور تنظیم کے اندر دلچسپی آپ کی جو ہے وہ زیادہ سے زیادہ ہونی چاہیے. تنظیم کے اندر جو کام آپ کر سکتے ہیں اس کے اندر آپ خود اپنے آپ کو پیش کریں. اور ہماری یہ خواہش ہے کہ آپ لوگ تربیت حاصل کریں، میڈیا کے اندر آپ لوگ کھڑے ہوں، ہر جگہ جہاں بھی سیاسی لوگ ہیں سیاسی میدان کے اندر آپ لوگ کھڑے ہوں. لیکن یہ کام تربیت اور نظم کے بغیر ممکن نہیں ہوگی. اور یہ سارے کام ہم کرتے کس لیے ہیں؟ اس کام کو کرنے کے ہمارا ایک ہی مقصد ہے. وہ کیا ہے کہ ہم سب لوگ لالچی ہیں، بڑے سخت لالچی. کس چیز کی لالچ ہے ہماری یہ لالچ ہے کہ یوم آخرت والے دن اللہ جل شانہ ہماری جو ہے وہ مغفرت فرما دیں اور ہمیں جنت میں داخل کر دیں. یہ ہماری لالچ ہے. اگر اس لالچ کے اوپر ہم یہ کام کرتے ہیں تو یقیناً ہمیں اخلاص نیت کے ساتھ اپنے وقت کو دینا ہوگا. اور ہمیں یہ کوشش کرنی چاہیے کہ تنظیموں کے اندر عہدوں کے لیے نہیں بلکہ اللہ کی رضا کے لیے ہم اس کے ساتھ کام کریں. قرآن مجید میں اللہ جل شانہ فرمایا یا ایھا النفس المطمئنہ، اے اطمینان پانے والی روح، ارجعی الی ربک راضیۃ مرضیہ، پلٹ اپنے رب کی طرف، تو اس سے راضی وہ تجھ سے راضی، فادخلی فی عبادی، اور تو میرے ممتاز بندوں کے اندر شامل ہو جا، وادخلی جنتی، और मेरी जन्नत के अंदर शामिल हो जाए। तो हमें ये सारा काम करते हुए, इज्तिमाइयत के साथ मिल के काम करते हुए, तो हमारी फ़िक्र यही है कि हम अल्लाह की रज़ा हासिल करते हुए उसके मुमताज़ बंदों के अंदर शामिल हो जाएं, ताकि अल्लाह जल्ल शानहू हमें सबको जन्नत के अंदर दाखिल फरमा दें। तो मेरी दुआ है कि हम सारे इस तरह की इज्तिमाइयत के साथ, इस तरह की तरबियत गाँव के अंदर आएँ और अपने आप को मुनज़्ज़म करें, अपने आप को तरबियत याफ्ता करें, ताकि इस माशरे के जितने चैलेंजेस हैं हम उनका सामना कर सकें। तो इस सिलसिले में आज हमारे पास बड़े अहम मेहमान मौजूद हैं, जिन्होंने इस यूरोप के अंदर उनको काम करते हुए बहुत अरसा गुजर चुका है, और यकीनन आज की ये नशिस्त इस एतबार से बड़ी अहमियत की हामिल है कि उनके तजर्बात से भी आप फ़ायदा उठाते हुए, उन्होंने अपने ममालिक के अंदर जिस तरह काम को किया है उनके तजर्बात से फ़ायदा उठाते हुए हमें नॉर्वे के अंदर अपने आप को मुनज़्ज़म करना है, अपने आप को तरबियत याफ्ता करना है, ताकि ये लादीनियत, ये सेकुलरिज्म जो अपना काम कर रहे हैं, उस काम को उनके मुकाबले के लिए हम अपने आप को तैयार करें, अपने नौजवान नस्ल को उसके लिए तैयार करें। सलाम भाई मौजूद है, इंशाअल्लाह वो ICC पे भी इस पे अभी बात करेंगे।
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hører alle meg? Ok, jeg har ett spørsmål før jeg starter. Hvor mange her det som var aktive i ICC på 70-tallet? Rekk opp en hånd. Halvparten her ikke født da, så det ser jeg. Men det noen her, dere kommer til å se en del ting. Hvor mange her det som ble aktive på 80-tallet? Det noen, og så det noen her. Ja, de som var på 70-tallet allerede. Hvem det som ble kjempeaktive på 90-tallet? Det noen som har blitt kjent i ICC de siste 10 årene? Ja. Vi ser at den største gruppen som her i dag, de aktive her som her i dag, har blitt nylig aktive. Og tanken med denne presentasjonen her, hvis jeg får den til å kjøre, det vi må alle kunne historien til ICC, for det litt av det som tanken. Hører alle meg? Det kommer til å være en del på norsk, en del på urdu og en del på engelsk, så at alle får litt av det de skal ha. Men historien vil vi ha på norsk, fordi vi en norsk organisasjon. Det 2-3 slides som alle bør kunne. Gjerne når dere på besøk, og det noen som har besøk av politiet, det noen som har besøk av folk her i moskeen, andre organisasjoner, interne møter, eksterne møter. Da mener jeg, og vi, at alle sammen bør ta med seg 2-3 slides fra denne historien, for å kunne ta med seg videre og fortelle historien slik den Islamic Culture Center. Men før vi starter, så det veldig viktig å ta med seg litt teori. Dette her noen av dere hørt før, for jeg har tatt den på en onboarding-kurs før. Og det Islamic Trends in Europe. Ikke sant? Det en person som heter Anne-Sofie Roald, som en kjempeflink muslimsk dame, som professor både i Ålesund og i Sverige. Som forteller at det var stort sett 4 deler av muslimske befolkningen delte seg stort sett i 4 grupper da de kom til Europa. Den ene gruppen Shia, som en minoritet, som følger en annen type School of Law, men de har en modernistisk approach og ofte transnasjonale. Det betyr at de flinke til å ha kontakter internasjonalt, også fordi at de en minoritet blant den muslimske befolkningen. Den andre gruppen, det Tablighi Jamaat. Alle her har hørt om Tablighi Jamaat. Ikke sant? Det en stor gruppe, veldig tradisjonell, konformist. Med det så mener hun at det veldig folk som holder en tradisjon fra Pakistan, India gående. Det betyr at hvis shalwaren skal stoppe her, så stopper den der. Shalwar kameez det veldig mange som bruker, de har en type skjegg og så videre. Men poenget at de en veldig sånn inward gruppe. De fokuserer på seg selv. Veldig ofte så det få kvinner som aktive i denne organisasjonen her, og det har ført til at det ikke veldig mange som har blitt med mye utover den pakistansk-indiske subkontinentet, også Bangladesh, hvis du ser på USA. Og så har de veldig mange moskeer, fordi at de flinke til å etablere seg. En liten ting som hun ikke har tatt med, som jeg kan ta med, at jeg tror det den gruppen historie som utdanner flest hafiz i Europa og USA. Så det de hun har kalt tradisjonelle. Det betyr ikke sånn som Osman Rana sier, at det sånn type tradisjonalistisk fremdrift, men det betyr at de holder seg veldig ofte til tradisjon. Det typisk sufisme, Bareli, Bahai Jamarehe og Behne. Det den type grupper, ofte også fra subkontinentet. Men det som ofte fokus der, at de også har en del innover fokus. Altså de fokuserer på seg selv, de har en del sofistiske tradisjoner som kjempespennende, men de fokuserer stort sett på seg selv og ikke samfunnet. og har en veldig sånn strikt følging av en eller annen lovskole. Ok? Og så det ikke så veldig mange konvertitter i de gruppene, ifølge Kari Vogt. Husk at dette her teori, dette ikke noe jeg finner på. Og så har du den gruppen som kalles Ikhwan, eller post-Ikhwan-gruppen, som hun har kalt det. Der har hun tatt med denne gruppen her, som heter Islamic Culture Center, Rabita, og veldig mange av de personene som hadde tankegangen til Hassan al-Banna, Seyyid Qutb og Maulana Maududi og den type folk. Jeg har tatt med for det Morad her også, fordi at de brukte en del energi på å oversette bøker som de fikk oversatt blant annet fra IFSO i Kuwait. Dette her en kjempeviktig del av det arbeidet som ble gjort. Og så var de ofte veldig organisasjonsmessig veldig sterke. Og hun kaller det for engineering islam. Altså det type veldig mange ingeniører som har vært med på å skape denne organisasjonen. Og så har de en modernistisk approach og transnasjonale i den forstand at de var flinke internasjonalt. Grunnen til at jeg tar med det bakteppet at de som har mest suksess, det den som kalles post-Ikhwan. Og grunnen til at de har hatt det fordi de har vært veldig flinke til å være samfunnsengasjerte. Og de har også fått flere konvertitter enn det som egentlig naturlig. Og grunnen til det at de hadde veldig mange bøker. Og så de har uforholdsmessig stor innflytelse på samfunnet blant muslimer. Og det ser vi litt med Islamic Culture Center også, ikke sant? Vi en demokratisk organisasjon, det har vi vært siden 1974. Det var ekstremt viktig for oss, det skal alle vite. Det en grunn til at vi stemmer hvert år. Det var kjempeviktig, og det var en av prinsippene som var viktig for oss. Samfunnsengasjement kjempeviktig. Vi skal ut i samfunnet, vi har dialogskoler, vi var opptatt av karikatursiden, sånn som Rizwan Berg også snakket nå, ikke sant? Og vi har til og med noe som heter Soul Seeker, som å finne en partner på et moderne vis innenfor islamske rammer. I tillegg til det så jobber vi veldig mye med identitet. Det betyr at vi jobber med internopplæring av hva det betyr å være en god muslim, og for eksempel en norsk borger. For de av dere som fra Danmark og England, akkurat det samme der også. Og så fokuserer vi på kunnskap. Kari Vogt kaller oss for den gruppen som fremmer en normativ form for islam. Det betyr at vi har Koran og Sunna helt på toppen alltid. Ikke så opptatt av hva en gang Maulana Maududi sier for eksempel, eller hva Hassan al-Banna eller Qaradawi. Det kan være litteratur som vi deler ut, men det betyr at hvis det en approach som en ledning på Koran og Sunna, så følger vi det. Og så vi opptatt av rettferd som en organisasjon. Blant annet så vi veldig opptatt av TV-aksjonen. Det har vi vært lenge. Organdonasjon var et opptatt program vi hadde for noen måneder siden. Og vi opptatt av Kreftforening og Palestina. Så det betyr at vi har vært rettferdighet, har vært iboende hos oss veldig, veldig lenge. Så kommer jeg litt til historien vår. Vi i 2004 så blir vi 50 år. Og i 2024 så blir vi 50 år. Det riktig? Matte ikke så sterk, ja. Og i 2014 så ble vi da 40 år. Og veldig mye av hvis dere har lyst til å søke artikler om oss på 40-årsdagen, så har Olga Stokke skrevet en veldig fin artikkel, og hun har tatt med historien og tatt med en del bilder fra gamle dager. Poenget at det startet med noen få personer. Vi startet i Bjølsens gate hjemme hos en person som heter Olam Desol for en felles ders. Og så spurte jeg, men hvordan det dere, hvorfor begynte dere med Tafim og Koran og ikke en annen bok? Var det tilfeldigheter, eller var det at det var noe som, eller var det en tilnærming som man ønsket? Og så forteller disse personene som jeg intervjuet, at Sofie Øsved, som jeg tror døde for 20 år siden, hadde med seg Tafim og Koran, som startet disse dørsene. Og man gjorde det uansett tidlig. Og så begynte man å formalisere organisasjonen i 1973-74. Vi begynte å jobbe med vedtekter. Man begynte å jobbe med tanken var at islam vår identitet, og ikke det at vi norske, eller pakistanere, eller andre. Så man ønsket å inkludere alle sammen. Prinsippene i vedtektene var at det skulle være demokrati. Alle skulle være velkommen. Vi skulle ikke fokusere for eksempel på Hanafi-skolen, eller at vi tilhørte en gruppe. Det skulle være apolitisk organisasjon. Ikke avhengig av noen som helst fra andre land. Vi skulle være en enkeltstående norsk organisasjon, og vedtektene skulle alltid være på toppen. Det betyr at uansett hvem som leder, så følger den personen også vedtektene. Og så holdt man første valg med en gang man kom opp til 30 rom. Ok, så det telte 1, 2, 3, vi kan ikke ha valg nå, for jeg bare 3-4 stykker. Men en gang vi fikk 30 stykker, så tok man det første valget, og det var rundt 1974. Og så hentet vi en første imam, som var Mujaddidi, som kom til 1976, og kom til Norge fra København. Men vi begynte altså i kjelleretasjen til Folkets hus. Der hadde man ikke råd til Bortsett fra fredagsbønn, og der så hadde man ikke råd til å bruke penger på Folkets hus da. Men så flyttet man han til Karl Johans gate, som en populær adresse i dag. Kanskje ikke med bomringer og sånne ting, men poenget at det var en populær adresse, og det der Svanapoteket ligger i dag, det rett ved siden av. Jeg fant ikke bildet. Lodal Gullgate fortsetter, og så på 80-tallet så kom vi til Jungsgata, som var den vi kjente, i hvert fall den jeg vokste opp i, og så kom vi til Tøyendekken. Så vi flytter til Jungsgate og tenker en langsiktighet. Legg merke til at vi der nesten 10 år. Januar 1985 så kommer Marlene Mebo Boremar, som en viktig institusjon i denne organisasjonen her, også for samfunnet, blir ansatt og kommer i januar 1985. Og da tenker vi langsiktig, begynte å tenke kjøp av eiendom og begynte å skrive bøker. Og så har jeg tatt med meg Salman Rushdie-affæren, for den var viktig for vår paraplyorganisasjon på det tidspunktet. Den skal jeg komme litt tilbake til. Så kommer vi til et nytt sted, og det da vi kommer til dette området her. Vi får en ny generasjon med ledere som vokser frem. Dere har sett det klart på, dere vet hvem Rizwan Bhai Najam Bhai og sånne ting. Dette de personene som fikk shower før meg da. For var smartere enn meg, for jeg var ikke opptatt av moské på 90-tallet. Men poenget at det en ny generasjon ledere som kommer frem, og det et kjempeviktig skifte. Grunnen til at jeg tok med det ikke viktig for historien nødvendigvis, men grunnen til at jeg tok med det at det viser litt at moskeen var villig til å gi ungdommen sjanse. Den sannheten skal være der i dag også, og det en greie vi må ta med oss. Vi blir opptatt av samfunnsdeltakelse. La meg ta et eksempel. Vi har tatt imot klasser, og de av dere som har vært med og sett på det, vi tar imot ca. 8000 mennesker. På mandag denne uken her, så kom det en person fra Kongshavn videregående skole med 200 elever. Første gang de kom var i 1996. Og det nesten 24 år. Jeg er fortsatt ikke god i matte. 23 år. 23 år så har de vært her hvert eneste år med 200 elever. Og han forteller historier fra ICC. Han forteller, hvis dere kjenner Neshat Ghazi, så hun den som har tatt imot dem mest i det siste. Men han bruker henne for å oppdra klassen sin innenfor islam hvert år. Og det har han gjort siden 1996. Det for øvrig samme lærer som kommer. Og det samme har menighetsfakultetet gjort. Og så kommer det da en ny generasjon som vokser opp, lager ungdomsorganisasjon. For de av dere som vet det, så har vi laget en organisasjon på tidlig 90-tallet som heter Islamsk Ungdomsforening Norge, som var en veldig dårlig organisasjon. Og så hadde vi politisk debatt hvor Karl Hagen ble invitert. Så vi ble politisk aktive. I 20-årene så var det moskeen, det nye moskébygget, som ble viktigere og viktigere. Og veldig mye av de første årene etter 2001 så brukte vi nettopp på å fokusere på dette bygget her. For Arakin så det litt viktig, og jeg tok med dette her fordi dette gjaldt noen mennesker som har bidratt masse. Særlig kvinner ble tatt frem i den boken også, at de var ekstremt gode. Men alle rukken, kvinner som menn, ble påbudt 35 000 kroner i første omgang, betalte moskeen, så 15, så 10. Og det litt greit å vite at det folk som har bidratt, ikke bare med tid, men også penger for at denne organisasjonen skal bli så flink som den er. Så tar vi noe kontinuitet. Der søndager siden 1973, fredagsbønn, idbønn siden 75, det var Union som arrangerte fredagsbønn før det, og idbønnen. Koranundervisning fra 1976, Tarbiah, vi startet ved hjelp fra den egyptiske ambassade i 1974, og så tok vi en sånn type med total Tarbiah og oversettelser med Hafiz Shabir Ahmed. Og så har vi bønnetidstabeller. Jeg snakket med Marna, og han sa at før idbønn, det en grunn til at idbønn ble laget her. For før den appen så brukte alle sammen tabell for bønnetider som ble laget av ICC. Fordi at det var en av de første som ble organisert, og da var det veldig behov for det. Så hvor mange det som har sett denne boken her? Det som interessant at vi veldig, veldig gode på litteratur, tør jeg påstå, og det fordi at det veldig mange fra litteraturgruppen som sikkert ser dette her, og det greit å si det. Men vi ikke så gode som vi var i 1980. Det riktig å si det? Ja. Vi ikke i nærheten av så gode. Legg merke til de bøkene man oversatte på tidlig 80-tallet, og det som positivt her, at disse personene som oversatte disse bøkene ikke var like gode i språket som det vi i dag. Det kjempeviktig å få med seg. Man brukte penger på islamske fundamenter. Jeg tror det var professor på Sissel Østberg, tror jeg oversatte en av disse to bøkene, som professor på det som heter Oslo Met i dag, eller Oslo Metropolitan University, et eller annet sånt heter i dag. Hun var professor der, hun oversatte en av disse to bøkene, jeg husker ikke hvilken. Men poenget at det veldig mange muslimer som vokste opp på min tid, som bare visste om disse her. Man tok opp en del vanskelige temaer, man tok opp en del gode temaer, som skulle fremme det islamske budskapet og oversatte det. Og så har vi bare blitt flinkere og flinkere, nok til at vi har et eget forlag i dag, som gjør at vi har blitt den gode organisasjonen vi Så selvfølgelig dette bare positive nyheter. Det betyr at vi kan bli mye bedre på alt, selvfølgelig kan vi det. Men poenget at det en liten del av historien, det finnes masse mer, men jeg ville at alle skulle kunne det. Vi fokuserer i dag på kunnskap, vi fokuserer på deltakelse. Positiv ungdom er kjempeviktig, folk gjør det ofte. Vi fokuserer på fellesskap, og statsministeren kommer. Vi fokuserer fortsatt på demokrati. Vi tenker fortsatt på dialog. Og vi har gjort dette her siden 1974, og skal bare bli litt flinkere og flinkere og flinkere. Det ville jeg at alle skulle vite i dag. Tusen takk.
حال میں کچھ لوگ بیٹھے شاید یہ سوچ رہے ہوں کہ آئی سی سی کی ہسٹری اس کی کیا ضرورت ہے اس وقت، لیکن ہمارا اس بات پہ یقین ہے، ایمان ہے کہ اپنی تاریخ کو یاد رکھنا چاہیے اور اپنے بچوں کو جو ہے اپنی تاریخ کو بتاتا رہنا چاہیے اور ان کو یاد کرواتے رہنا چاہیے. ہماری تاریخ جو ہے اصل میں ہمارا سرمایہ ہے، ہماری یہ قوت ہے. جو چیزیں ہم نے سب سے زیادہ جن پر فوکس کیا وہ تاریخ ہے، اور اس سے پہلے ہمارا جو دستور اور ہماری جو روایات ہیں اسلامی کلچر سینٹر کی وہ بڑی سترک ہے، اور انہی کے بنیادوں کے اوپر جو ہے یہ ایک ادارہ کھڑا ہوا ہے. الحمدللہ ہم بڑی stolthet کے ساتھ جو vi pleier å si at det eneste moské som ikke har vært med noen konflikter og slåsskamper. تو یہ ہماری stolthet ہے، اور اس کی وجہ یہ ہے کہ ہمارا دستور، ہمارا سسٹم، ہمارا نظام اس نے ہمیں بچا کے رکھا، اور اس کے ساتھ یہ ہماری ساری ہسٹری ہے جس میں ہمارے بہت سارے لوگ جو ہیں وہ جوانی کے زمانے میں آئے ہیں اور اب وہ جو ہے نا وہ سفید داڑھیوں کے ساتھ ہمارے ساتھ شامل ہیں. یہ بھی ہسٹری ہے. اور ہماری جو شورا ہے اس کے اندر 6-7 لوگ جو ہیں وہ ہر وقت ایکس پریزیڈنٹ بیٹھے ہوتے ہیں. تو اس کا مطلب یہ ہے کہ وہ سارا سسٹم فنگیرے ہوتا ہے، ورنہ ایک پریزیڈنٹ جائے وہ دوسرے کو چلنے نہیں دیتا. تو یہ ہماری ہسٹری ہے اور اس پہ ہمیں جو ہے بڑا فخر ہے. اس وقت جس مقرر کو میں یہاں بلا رہا ہوں وہ محترم خرم مراد صاحب کے بیٹے ہیں، فاروق مراد. وہ ڈائریکٹر ہیں اسلامک فاؤنڈیشن، جو اس وقت وہاں لٹریچر کے اندر، ڈائلاگ کے اندر، اس طرح کی بہت ساری یہ جو کرنے والے، لکھائی والے، پڑھائی والے اکیڈمک کام ہے اس کے اندر وہ بہت سارے انوالو ہیں. اور وہاں پہ جس طرح ہمارے یہاں ERN ایک MDN فرافری آرگنائزیشن ہے، وہاں برطانیہ کے اندر مسلم کونسل آف بریٹن اس کے وہ جنرل سیکرٹری رہے ہیں. UK مشن اسلامک فاؤنڈیشن جو ہے وہ جس وقت ہم نے یہاں کام شروع کیا ہے 1974 میں یا 3 میں، اس وقت فاؤنڈیشن نے 1973 کے اندر دیبین تو بیدار. سو اگینتلی ان کی ہسٹوری بھی ہماری ہسٹوری جتنی 45 مور کی ہو گئی ہے، تو انہیں کام کرتے ہوئے اتنا عرصہ ہو گیا. تو اس اعتبار سے ہماری یہ بڑی خوش قسمتی ہے کہ آج محترم فاروق مراد صاحب ہمارے درمیان موجود ہیں. ان کا ایک بہت بڑا ستوٹ روایت انہوں نے کیا ہے UK کے اندر، پاکستان کے اندر جو ہے وہ بڑے شنت ہیں. تو میں اپنے محترم معزز مہمان کو اسٹیج پہ آنے کی دعوت دیتا ہوں کہ وہ یہاں تشریف لائیں. Bröder och systrar, de som ikke forstår norsk, at her er Farouk Murad sahab. Farouk Murad han sønnen til Khurram Murad, og Khurram Murad har vært han var veldig aktiv i den tiden. Da var det Seyyid Abul Ala Maududi begynte å skrive, og det var en av de første, eller få ungdommer som fikk inspirasjon fra Seyyid Abul Ala Maududi og begynte å skrive og jobbe i den retningen. Sånn sett, det er stor ære for oss at Mohtaram Farouk Murad sahab er her nå, og de kommer til å snakke om Foundation of Islamic Movements. تو han har stor erfaring i det området. Inshallah, dere kommer til å lære masse av ham.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. My very respected President of Islamic Culture Center, Brother Sayyid Rizwan Ahmed. I see many founders, pillars and elders of this center. I met some brothers, but I'm sure sisters have played a bigger role, inshallah, in setting up the center. It's a pleasure to be here. It's wonderful to come here because I came to Norway in 2005 when I was running a cultural awareness consultancy in the UK, and we had some contact with the Norwegian government, and they invited us to deliver some training programs for the AIM here in Norway. So we did some research and we did some programs. So I met some of you at that time. I remember particularly Salam was speaking earlier. He's still looking as young as then, mashallah, more energy, alhamdulillah. And this center, subhanallah, it wasn't there at the time. And this is a credit to yourselves and a big gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we have in this frozen part of the world a lively and warm center like this, warmed by your belief, your iman, and by the nusra and the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, this center is a long way to go. The topic given to me was, may I also comment that I can see as they said, Tarazu is very much weighed in this direction, which gives me real pleasure, mashallah, because I think it was Malcolm X who said, you might remember his quote, that if you educate one of these people here, one of the men, you only educate one individual. But if you educate one of this group here, one woman or sister, you educate a nation, I would say generation. So I am very fortunate that we have young women here, mashallah, and some mothers, sisters here as well, because I think your role is extremely important in what I'm going to be talking about. Because in my own case, my father, Allah yarhamhu, his name has been mentioned, but he was hardly home really, and he was very busy, and he did teach us some great things. And I think in my life, it was when I was doing an engineering degree in UK, and like a lot of young people, the only thing in mind was perhaps to finish my UK degree and get a good job, and perhaps plan was we will return to Pakistan. And some of our elders in my family, engineering profession, have done very well. They've set up some big companies in Pakistan, some multinational companies. My father is a successful engineer as well. So we was quite excited about the career prospects and so on. And it was at that time that my father, rahmatullah alayhi, was speaking to some young people, and he invited me to come to a program, a series of programs. Not just one weekend, but 12 weekends, from Friday evening to Sunday afternoon. And so he asked me, Vete, would you like to attend this program? But the only requirement is you have to come 12 weekends, one weekend every month for the whole year. It was my third year of the university engineering and management degree, which was a tough year, but I committed, alhamdulillah, I did. But that's planted some seeds. And some of the things we learn is what I would like to share today. That planted some seeds which I am feel very privileged, that led me not to pursue a career in the long run in the engineering profession, but move more towards social engineering and look at the huge potential. That what excited me most was the huge potential, this amazing phenomena of our presence in Europe offers us. And this is what I would like you to hold on to, this one thought. I was given the topic Foundation Islamic Movement, but I think this movement is a loaded term, and some would visit this another bid'ah and iftar, what is this movement, etc. And I would like us to understand what is the purpose and mission of Islam itself, because that will clarify whether we need to be moving or not. But if yes, purpose is clear, then why do Islamic work? And some of the, mashallah, elders, pioneers here have been doing it for years, as we heard. Started with young stalwarts like Zamran, Jazakallah, for organizing this program, and they've gone on to become senior guides and beacons of light, mashallah. But why have they done all this Islamic work? What has motivated us? And have we got our targets right? How far can Islamic work go, or we are going to get very tired soon, or lose the purpose of it all? and not be able to continue to expand to the future generations. So therefore I would like to talk about very quickly great stories. You remember these boys, I'm sure. You have learned about them in great detail. Remember that boy was thrown into the well? Was only 11 years old?
First boy is
Yusuf alayhi salam. Yes, indeed. And the second boy is not a boy, a baby. Musa alayhi salam. Any idea how many times Musa alayhi salam has been mentioned in the Quran? Have a rough guess. I don't want you to go and Google.
More than 80 times.
More than 80 times?
Yeah.
MashaAllah. Any increase to that? 95. I have read something like about 120, 30 times. About 135. Is that shocking? I find that quite shocking. Prophet Muhammad has been mentioned 5 times. But Musa alayhi salam, who lived thousands of years ago, the book which we hold with great awe and respect as being the book of hidayah and guidance from the Creator Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he felt that so many of these verses of this book should be devoted to Musa alayhi salam. Or a whole story of Yusuf alayhi salam. Surah number 12, incidentally, 11 brothers, 12 brothers, surah number 12, place number 12, has 111 verses, 111, lot of symbolic in this surah, mashallah. That was the first one, which I find quite significant for us living in Norway or in UK, Muslim community today here, to reflect over, because I find Yusuf al-Islam's case to be a very powerful case for us to be able to do a lot of things if we can grasp what is being done there and what is being said. But these are great stories which have been mentioned at great length in the Quran. And in those 2 stories, one of the messages, and the great messages, let me talk about it. One of the key messages, what is the key message in those 2 stories? It's one message you would like to give. If anyone has any thought to share. Sorry, you can say Norwegian or Urdu, Urdu I can understand, but Norwegian somebody can translate. But feel free, okay? Ji.
Nobody can damage anybody else, or if God does not will to hurt us, so nobody can hurt us. And that's because Joseph,
Yes.
he was thrown into the well with the thought that he will be finished.
Yes.
But God, this was a
Has your own plan.
to the progress in a way in the eyes of God. And from well to Egypt, and then from Egypt from a house to the prison, and from prison to the government
Office, big government office. Yes, amazing. What a journey.
That nobody can hurt you if God
What a journey.
hurting you.
Very inspiring journey. Very good. One of the key messages. From nowhere to somewhere great. Yes, my sister.
If we see from one point, look at the Quran story, we think that they were tested in a way, and it
True.
was a hard test in the life of both boys. But on the other hand, we see that they reach after going through these tests, they reach at the city of knowledge, on those homes where they can learn more. they were educated, as in the case of
MashaAllah,
Yusuf,
amazing.
and in the case of Musa also.
Yes.
If they were living with their parents, they didn't have opportunity to learn.
Yeah, indeed. That's a very good point. Okay, since time is short, I would like to have done more of this reflection, but I think this reflection is very important. We don't do enough of it, and I think of something else my father was very good at is reflecting over the Quran, and we did those workshops of the Quran in many of those sessions to reflect deeper and deeper why things are connected, why this verse comes after that verse, what is the connect, why this thing has been said. It says, for example, do not let your children and your wealth take you away from zikrullah, and then وَأَنْفِقُوا, why after immediately saying وَأَنْفِقُوا, what's the relation between infaq and dhikr, is infaq dhikr, is dhikr infaq, etc. So this kind of exercises are very important because we should use our intellect, because this is the Quran's own invitation, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ أَفَلَا يَتَفَكَّرُونَ, why don't you ponder and reflect. But for me, the point I would like to share, why I find these both stories significant for us is, as my sister just said, that they were, Yusuf alayhi salam was only third generation in Ibrahim alayhi salam's household. Ibrahim alayhi salam, then Yaqub and Ishaq, Ibrahim alayhi salam, then Ishaq, then Yaqub and Yusuf alayhi salam. So within the generation of the person Khalilullah who stood to bring humanity to the worship of one God, but they were living in a very a place of insignificance at the time. They were shepherds living in Palestine, in part of area which they could just be flocking and their sheep and live out like this. And at the time, nobody could have predicted there was domestic violence, domestic disturbance, in the sense that 11 brothers felt that their father was too much inclined towards Yusuf alayhi salam, and that led to them hatching a plan and taking him away. And that led a process, as we heard, through which he ended in a power, place of significance, place of influence, place of power, where he could learn, and he learned things, he established his character, and he was able to offer a solution for the society to the extent that he was invited to join, even though he's a prophet, not join as leader of that society or change the system, bring about a revolution, nothing like that, but play a significant role for the betterment of the society. That's why I think Yusuf alayhi salam's story is quite inspiring for Muslims living in UK or Norway, and alhamdulillah, it's a guidance which has been preserved. And Musa alayhi salam's case is the same, that this ethnic group at the time in Egypt, they had been condemned for persecution. There was kind of Islamophobia that led to the rulers declaring that the boys, and I heard this, that one of the leaders of the far right in Denmark said something very similar, that we should put the Muslim men onto ship and let them sail away, and we should auction Muslim women, etc. I heard that was shared with me by someone from Denmark. So there's a kind of Islamophobia that is seeping in. But kind of Islamophobia which led Fir'aun to declare that boys should be slaughtered and women should be left on big ibtila azim. We say Islamophobia, ibtila, there was a big ibtila azim. Policy had been sanctioned. And after that sanctioning the policy, Allah inspired one mother to take her son and trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let him sail away somewhere. And I had many stories of migrants who have come to Britain, come to Europe, from villages, from places of insignificance, whose children now are holding influential positions in this country and in the rest of the Europe, and they have learn language and speak English and Norwegian and Danish better than the locals, perhaps in many instances and cases. So is there a process that is taking place in terms of your and my being present here, that we could see some kind of divine plan? Because divine plans are there in all great events. There are no accidents of history. I think 20 million Muslims coming to Europe after its destruction in the First and Second World War. We may say that this is what the industrial expansion, the requirement of labor. Yes, this is what contemporarily and in time people would say. The reason is because of labor shortage and labor shortage, but there's a big planner. Why labor shortage? Why Muslims have to come? So I think there's no accident of history. In big events which unfold, there are plans. And people of ulul albab are those who see signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They can feel it. I can feel it. I can see it. You can see it if you reflect. That Europe, where Muslims had first come many centuries ago and lived for 8 centuries in Spain, and they were rulers, they developed civilization, and a lot of that civilization ideas are in the fabric of European society, its administration, its legal structures, its government structures, they're there. But they became imperial power, and they wiped out from Europe. Came again as imperial power, knocking the doors of Sicily. That was the Ottoman in the 15th century, just after the Muslims were thrown out of Spain, 1492. In 1550, another imperial power were trying to invade Europe, and invaded many parts of Europe, like Eastern Europe and so on, Bosnia and so on. But they were also not there for long. But this time, this part of the world has received Muslims not as imperial power, not as rulers, but as you and me, as basic migrant workers and laborers from places of insignificant, Somalia, parts of Pakistan. I mean, Kharia is not a place of insignificance, I would not say that. Of course, a place of great significance, alhamdulillah, because you have come from there, alhamdulillah, Gujarat. And so many other parts of Muslim world, Muslims have arrived in great number, 20 million, 3 million in Britain. You know, our Chancellor of Exchequer, who runs the British government's finance, Sajid Javed, is the son of a bus driver who came from Pakistan, and it's the 6th largest economy. So there are great, we have come to a place of opportunity, of contribution, and there is a divine plan. So is there a plan for our arrival in Norway, the West? If you can understand and attach yourself to that kind of plan, you will do a lot greater things than just restricting yourself to the 4 walls of this center, Islamic Cultural Center. If you can see and feel a bigger plan, then you will get some amazing ideas to do amazing things. And this is what we need to reflect over. Does the humanity around this center need you and me? Will this society in the long run need Islam to survive and continue to look after your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren? They're not going away from here. Will this ship still carry them with the same peace that you experience, that I and you can sit here comfortably, speak, eat, laugh, grow old, and enjoy the services and benefits? Is that the promise of Allah will continue? And we not attending to the people around? So what's the plan for us in Norway? This is what we need to grasp and understand. I think guidance is the key. That our most distinctive feature of Muslims and this Ummah and Islam, most distinctive feature is that we believe we carry the guidance, the last testament from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the teachings of His last prophet till the day of judgment. There's no other special thing about us. There's nothing other special thing that we can bring and contribute to these societies. And this is the main feature. And our rise and our fall, the hadith which says we rise and we fall by only one thing. Not by our wealth, not by our numbers, not by where we live, how good we look, but how we treat that guidance. And that's a historical fact, that when we lived by that guidance, the first generations, in an age when traveling was difficult, it took 8 days to travel from Makkah to Medina Munawwar. But in 25 years, we were in Asia, Africa, Spain, Europe, all the continents of that mainland as we know. And when we did not, even though we had empire in Spain, we had empire in India, we had empire in Turkey, they collapsed, they withered away. So that is, I think, the key question that you need to grasp in order to understand the true scope of the Islamic work. Once we understand what guidance is, what it is for, who is it for, how it needs to live and be actualized in our lives and our societies, then only I think we will become catalyst for achieving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's. All the side issues that bother us will disappear. We entangle ourselves in too many side and minor issues. So what are our options with regards to this Islam, this guidance? Options for young people in growing up in Norway, in Britain, in Europe, anywhere in the world. There are, I think, some of the options I can think of. The first option is it just a family tradition? Most of us were, except few exceptions here, I don't know, were born in a Muslim home. So our parents taught us Islam. We realized we are Muslim as we became growing older. We realized we have to do certain things, we can't do certain things. So one approach could be what we call, it's an identity, it's too much hard to really reject it and go away from it. So we adjust, we survive, we cope, we put on a bit of this culture, that culture. We can make sure we're accepted by him and them, and so on. And we flow with the flow, and time goes, and before long, we are old. And old age perhaps will occur that, I should perhaps re-establish my link with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in olden age, some people would come back to masjid, will try to be more observant of a Muslim. And that's how a generation and generations can pass. Second option is, no, that's not good enough. You're not really secularized. You would like perhaps to practice as best as possible, given all the hardships and difficulties. So we do our rituals, we do our do's and don'ts, and a bit more observant of a Muslim, and think I'm a good Muslim. I'm doing very well. Another option I've not mentioned, which is now becoming a bit big in parts of Europe, which is called ex-Muslims. Imran, what's bothering you? The time is 19 minutes, 15 minutes left. Oh, that's a lot of time. I normally get notice when only 3 minutes left. Jazakallah. No, I'll wrap it up before then, don't worry, inshallah. Okay. So the other option is that, what I've not mentioned, is what we call ex-Muslims. I'm not sure whether you have it in Norway, but in Britain, I know of young people from good Muslim families who say, look, I don't believe this. I can't go on being hypocrite and deceiving and trying to put this whole garb of being a Muslim. I'm not really a Muslim. So they've found enough courage and guts to say, look, we are ex-Muslims now. Interestingly, they still would like to be referred to as Muslims. I say, why don't you just go away and don't call yourselves ex-Muslim or anything? I mean, there are many Christians who I've not come across many ex-Christians. They say, look, I don't believe in anything. I'm agnostic, atheist, whatever. But still they find it difficult not to be associated with Islam. But ex-Muslim, that is very sad, but I think it's better to me that, Islam is something that is a belief, is based on your belief, is based on your aqidah, and that is, but that is a challenge, of course, because we live in a civilization Let's not forget, we breathe in a civilization, in a culture. We drive its cogs and wheels. We work in it, which has declared a lot of our beliefs as asatirul awwaleen, as Quran says, the stories of the past days, figments of mind. All this idea there's a God and people go to grave, there's punishment, there's hell, there's heaven. And in good families that's happening. In our families we know of young people. I know of recently 2 or 3 incidences have happened in UK where some elders passed away and the children came. They could not even stand and offer namaz-e-janazah because they said we cannot. They stood by the side, and it was very sad to see that happening. Anyway, that's another challenge. We will look into that, whether we should worry about that or do something else. But the other option is to accept it as the greatest blessing, Islam, for self and humanity. I think this is a level of iman that is we need to work on. That we begin to see that what we possess is the greatest blessing for us and for humanity. And this blessing has to be shared with the humanity. It's not just for myself. I do my salah, I do my halal food, I go home. But I'm sitting on a blessing that can bless humanity, that can lead and help humanity, help human beings. So, brothers and sisters, we are living in historic times with amazing opportunities for extraordinary lives and great rewards. This is the point that we need to grasp, living in Norway, living in UK, living in Europe, for all Muslims. This is my main message to young and old. Historic times. I was talking to one of our elders, Professor Khurshid Ahmed, the other day. He was saying and he's good knowledge of history, that when he casts a look at history, he finds phases when there was conflicts, armed conflicts, political crises, economic problems, racial problems, social issues, family issues, moral issues. But rarely, he said, he finds periods when humanity was confronted with all of these problems at the same time. Deep moral, social, cultural, political problems are bubbling underneath the surface. So whilst it's time for opportunities, but also for threats and dangers. I don't want to go into details, but European history is something we don't have to read history of hundreds of years, but history of just 100 years would be enough to show us that real dangers exist. I was reading, and I would encourage all of you to read, if you can, Muhammad Asad's Road to Mecca, a very popular book, a great book, I think, of a European Austrian young Jew, how he traveled to Muslim lands, and how in 1935, 1928, when as a young man he was in Jerusalem and his mamus were discussing he went to spend time during holidays, like our children go during holidays in summer. So he decided to go, because his parents were well-to-do in Germany, very well off, and he decided to go and spend the vacation with his maternal uncles, his mamu in Jerusalem, and they were planning this whole idea of creating a state of Israel, and he as a young man thought was not a great sustainable idea surrounded by all these Muslims land around. But he writes that in this book. But he, within 5-6 years, whilst he was having these wonderful holidays, both of his parents had been killed in concentration camps. Life had turned very rapidly against his people back in Germany, as we know, 1928 to 1935-40, and within 5-6 years. So, and in Europe, people talk about assimilation, that we should assimilate ourselves, we should adopt local culture, language, etc. The two most successful assimilations in Europe one can think of are Muslims in Bosnia and Jews in Germany. They completely assimilated. Dress-wise, names, language, you name it. And these two assimilations did not happen that long ago. They were successful assimilations only a few decades ago. And we know what happened to those two assimilated people. They're very comfortably assimilated. So there are threats and dangers. But I will now wrap up a bit more quickly. So my point is that this is the prospect as to what is the Islamic work. I think there cannot be a better two verses to indicate the basic task upon us than these two verses of Surah Al-Hajj. They're the last two verses of Al-Hajj, and I very much recommend that we reflect deeply into these two verses. O you believe, bow down, prostrate yourselves, adore your Lord, and do good. So why these things have been mentioned? Rituals, action, good work, Islamic work, that you may prosper. And then that Islamic work is being now detailed in the following verse, number 78. What is that? And you should strive in his cause as you ought to strive, as the hub of that cause is. He has chosen you. Remember Musa alayhi salam said, وَاسْتَنَعْتُكَ لِنَفْسِي, I've chosen you for myself. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. And he says to who? To you and me, that we have chosen you and have imposed no difficulties. وَمَا جَعَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ مِنْ حَرَجٍ. No difficulties in this path. And you would say, well, what does he mean? Because it's a very difficult path, isn't it? Living by Islam in situations and conflicting times when things are against us. There's Islamophobia, and wearing hijab is a challenge, living halal way is a challenge for young people, and so on. So it is very testing and very difficult. But again, when we did our discussions, we learned that وَمَا جَعَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ مِنْ حَرَجٍ does not mean musibah has not been used. Musibah, hardship, sa'ab has not been used. What's being haraj? And haraj basically, in terms of root word meaning, that it is used, haraj is also used for a bird when it gets stuck in bushes and cannot find its way out. That he's not created in this path obstacles that we cannot surmount. We cannot progress. We can't get out of the situation. In the most difficult of situations, if things turn against us, we will find a way forward. That's what he has promised, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the way of your father. He found a way forward. He was also thrown into fire as well. It is he who has named you Muslims. That is why we are called Muslims, both before and in this revelation. That the Rasul is a witness for you, and you are witnesses for whom? Ala nas, for mankind. And a lot of mankind were living in Europe. They needed witnesses. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought us here. فَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةِ, to develop yourself, your strength, your iman, وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةِ, and develop your society's sense of contributing to society. وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِاللَّهِ, and hold on to Allah during all this time. هُوَ مَوْلَاكُمْ, He is your Lord. فَنِعْمَ الْمَوْلَى وَنِعْمَ النَّصِيرُ, how wonderful a Mawla and Nasir, the helper. He will help. This is Islamic movement, brothers and sisters. No new ideas. It is committing the Ummah back to its purpose and mission. With this purpose is adopted, we begin to live for humanity. Humanity will embrace us. But they are in difficulties. Ordinary people I know, non-Muslims and others, they are in a lot of difficulties and problems. And Islam is a solution. We can be the carrier of the solution. When we bring solutions, people will, colonial rulers, wherever they went, they were thrown out of those lands. Whether Africa, Asia, French fought a bloody war in Algeria, And they brought out systems, but still they were never accepted because they lived to draw benefit from these lands for themselves. But Muslims, wherever they went, they were never thrown out. They became part of the culture of that land. Locals became Muslims. And that's how Islamic Ummah has grown and has become strong, inshallah. So, and there are further evidence because time is short, but I'll just simply talk about one event which is Khabbab bin Arat's story, which is in Sahih Bukhari, as you know. And some of you must have read this hadith, a very famous hadith, that when the situation became very difficult for the Sahaba in Mecca, in the Meccan crucible, you need a crucible to get better. You get stronger in a crucible. You have to face a bit of fire to become the kind of strong person, some hardships in life. They say if you want to make somebody really good batsman, what do you have to do? Get a good bowler against him. Unless he faces the best and fastest and the best spinners, he will not learn. Similarly, the time was very tough, and Khabbab bin Arat radiallahu anh came and asked Rasulullah. He was resting by the Kaaba. Said, Ya Rasulullah, pray for victory. It's not too much. And the narration is, Rasulullah set up, his face turned red, and he said, gave examples of the hardship people had gone before then. And then he said something which I think what we need to reflect over. He said, by Allah, this mission will be completed. And what does that mean when we said the mission would be completed? Anybody would like to just give me that sentence he said? What was his definition of completion of Allah's mission? What would happen? A traveler will be able to travel from Sana'a to Hadramaut, and some narrations say a female would be able to travel. And anybody who goes to Yemen even now would know what this means. Traveling from Sana'a to Hadramaut, and would have no fear of anyone except Allah, or the fact that a wolf may attack them, or the sheep. Now I find it interesting that Rasulullah sitting there, people in hardship, he only can give this vision. But to me, there can't be a better vision of perfect globalization that people, Western civilization world takes great pride than this. That is freedom to travel, protection of honor, protection of wealth, your possession, everything is protected, and you yourself have fear of Allah alone, so that you will not cause any harm to anybody either. A society, a world that is at peace. This is the vision of Islam. And Islamic movement is about working towards that. That's what Islam brings. So revivalist idea simply means that we bring Quran back into our lives and we live for the Quran. Especially young people, I would say, don't just sell your lives for just living an ordinary life. Even if you have the highest of professional dreams, highest of community leadership dreams, they are very small compared with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala offers. Take the leadership of mankind. When Ibrahim a.s. fulfilled all the promises made, all the tests he went through, وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ فَتَمَّهُنَّ, when he completed even the last of the tests, which was to sacrifice his son, what was he promised? He was promised, قَالَ إِنِّي جَعِلُكَ لِلنَّاسِ إِمَامًا. Now I'm making you leaders of mankind. Not your tribe, not your Islamic cultural center, of mankind. We are the Millah of Ibrahim, as Surah Hajj says. He was promised the leadership of mankind. West not supposed to be leading. East was not supposed to be leading. Arabs should not be leading. Pakistanis should not be leading. That's not what our contention is. The truth and justice should be leading mankind. And Ibrahim alayhi salam, قَالَ إِنِّي جَعِلُكَ لِنَاسِ إِمَامًا, he immediately said, قَالَ وَمِن ذُرِّيَّتِي, does this promise also applies to my descendants? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لَا يَنَالُ أَحَدُ الظَّالِمِينَ, my promise does not apply to those who do wrong. And wrong is, brothers and sisters, not living in Norway for taking Islam forward from this center, from this organization. Give your time, your resources, in your life, make that a priority. And once we do that, we will see the blessings that will come to our lives, and we will experience the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His rahmah, His fadl, and He will join our hearts. He'll make people around us our best of friends. Idfa billati ahsan, fa idha alladhi baynaka wa baynahu adawatun ka'annahu waliyyun hamim. You repel what is bad things people do to you with what is better here, ahsan. You will see that Allah will make those between you and them, there's enmity, become friends. Waliyun hamim is very strong words. That between the people there's whatever phobia, distrust, dislike exists will disappear. And I've experienced it myself with individuals who perhaps did not like us, did not like Islam, but once the Quran has joined our hearts, they became our great friends. So make that a vision. Islamic Culture Center exists to bring the message of Islam to Norway. And those who belong to this community, young and old, should make their plans, like I saw beautiful plans we heard from Arsalan, support this kind of plan, make it bigger plan, give it more resources, give your life, your savings, your resources. Live like Abu Darda, who said to Rasulullah, I'll give all my date plantations to you. And rushed and said to his wife, come out, I've already given to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We need those levels of sacrifice. Then you will see things will change, inshallah. May Allah give us strength. May Allah give us tawfiq. May Allah give us understanding. Join our hearts and give us the ability to serve the greatest cause on this earth, which we can, which we will, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر لي ولكم استغفر الله الغفور الرحيم.
हमारे अगले मुकर्रर जो हैं वो ICC में बहुत दफ़ा आ चुके हैं. नाम से भी आप वाकिफ़ हैं, मोहम्मद फुरकान. लेकिन कम लोग ऐसे होते हैं जो प्रोफेशन में भी इंजीनियर हों और स्वीडन के अंदर काम भी एक अच्छी कंपनी के पास कर रहे हों और फिर ये सोचें कि ठीक है मैं ये सारा काम छोड़ के अल्लाह की राह की खातिर, अल्लाह की खातिर जो वो दीन का काम करने के लिए वो निकल पड़े. तो ये आज के ज़माने में ये बड़ा मुश्किल काम है. हम सारे जो है वो मिल के सोचते हैं कि हमारा जो है ना कैरियर बन जाए, उसके लिए जॉब करते हैं, उसी के लिए सारी तगदो करते हैं. लेकिन अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह फुरकान भाई ने 2013 के अंदर इसका फैसला किया और सारा सिस्टम छोड़ के जो है वो फिर पाकिस्तान मुंतकिल हुए, फिर जाके इसी तरह दीन के काम के अंदर वो मशगूल रहे, फिर अब वापस आए हैं. तो मोटिवेशनल फॉर इदराक जो है वो करते हैं इस्लामी ऑर्गेनाइजेशनर के लिए और फिर दूसरी जो तंजीमें हैं या जो कारोबारी मराकज़ है उनके लिए. तो ये आज के ज़माने में ये एक बहुत बड़ी बात है कि इंसान वो अपना सारा कैरियर वो उसको अल्लाह की खातिर उसको छोड़ के उस कैरियर को लगा के दाव पे तो आप जो है अल्लाह की खातिर उसके रास्ते के अंदर निकल आए. तो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह इससे उम्दमर के लिए उन्होंने इससे पहले काफ़ी दफ़ा वो फरिदा किए हैं. तो मैं बिला ताख़ीर अपने भाई मोहम्मद फुरकान साहब को स्टेज पे आने की दावत देता हूँ कि वो यहाँ तशरीफ़ लाए. गो के टाइम कम है लेकिन इंशाल्लाह इसके बाद भी इसको हम जारी रखेंगे, जितना उनको वक्त चाहिए होगा उनको देंगे इंशाल्लाह.
अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू. अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह वस्सलातु वस्सलामु अला रसूलिल्लाह. रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली. Farooq Murad, he was here, and he is son of my spiritual father. When I was in matric, and I used to talk with my sister. She was, at that time, she was in medical college. And she used to tell me, why don't you want to become like Khurram Murad? And he's a legend, and I was in 1997. It was 1997. Anyhow, I had a role model in front of me like Khurram Murad. And that was also written in my diary. And then after, alhamdulillah, I became an engineer. And one of the book towards understanding of Islam, that was, when I read first time, I used to read the book again and again, because I was thinking the writer Khurram Murad, when he was writing the book, he was taking his feelings out of his heart in form of the words on paper. And I read so many times, and that book has given me amazing spiritual power. If Khurram Murad has son by the name of Farooq, I would say he is also having a son by the name of Furqan as well. Alhamdulillah. And today, if we are going to talk on tazkiyah of individual and the tazkiyah of an organization, so this thing, actually I was thinking a lot at night. I wanted to deliver on something else. But when I discussed with some of the few brothers about ICC things, then at night and after Salatul Fajr, I was thinking and rethinking, and then now I came up with another perspective that I want to discuss now, inshallah. That what things can destroy the organization and what things can destroy a person. And I'll not be going to tell my words, I'll be going to explain the words of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, ثلاث مهلكات. Three things will destroy. What three things will destroy? The first thing he said, shuhun muta'. Shuhun muta'. Shuh means to hold, to keep, miserliness. To keep shuh, to not share with others. Shuh, shuhun muta'. You know, when shuh is obeyed, then this will be the first form of destruction. You know, when a person is deserved to get anything and you are stopping him to get that right, when a person has obligation to get the right but you are stopping that obligation, it's shuh. Don't do. In form of individual person and in form of an organization. Don't do. Shuhun muta'. In Quran, Allah is saying, وَمَنْ يُوقَ شُحَّ نَفْسِهِ وَمَنْ يُوقَ شُحَّ نَفْسِهِ. And whoever is holding himself, his nafs, keeping in control, فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. These are the one who will be successful. These are the one who will be successful. And my brother, this is the first thing that we need to know. What is this thing? Shuhun muta'. I will request everybody to recite behind me. Shuhun muta'. What is shuhun muta'? What is the second thing? Hawan muttaba'. Hawan muttaba'. When you follow the desires when you will be going to follow your desires, this will be the destruction for you and for organization. Second thing, hawa muttaba. Don't follow. ولا Quran is saying ولا تتبع الهوى فيضلك عن سبيل الله. وأفرأيت من اتخذ إلهه هوى. This hawa, these desires are coming in the heart, and whoever is following his desires which are coming in the heart, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, he will be or she will be in the state of destruction. Don't do that thing. Don't do. So the first thing is shaykhun muta', and what is the second thing? Hawan muttaba'. What is the second thing? Hawan muttaba'. And the third thing is وَإِعْجَابُ الْمَرْءِ بِنَفْسِهِ. وَإِعْجَابُ الْمَرْءِ بِنَفْسِهِ. You know, our nafs, inner soul, in front of me, I am the one who is on the right. I am the one, my words are right. I am the one who has to be on the top position. I am the one who has to lead this thing. My suggestion is the best suggestion. And the person is taking himself as a role model for himself. This is the third thing. This will be going to have destruction for a person and for an organization. And we have to protect ourselves from these three things. And there is dua that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika. Remember this. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is making this dua for himself. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika. Oh Allah, I ask your forgiveness from you. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika. Oh Allah, protect me from what? From what? Min sharri nafsi. From my own shar of my own nafs. From shar of my own nafs. Oh Allah, protect me. This is the Prophet. These are the words of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And in another hadith, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, listen my brothers and sisters, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allahumma la takilni ila nafsi tarfata ayni. Oh Allah, don't leave me, don't even leave me in front of my nafs only for the sake of the time equal to the blinking of an eye. You understand? La takilni ila nafsi. Don't leave me in front of my nafs. Tarfat aini, when the time, what is the time? Just a moment. And Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he made that dua. So my brothers and sisters, three things: shaykhun muta', hawan muttaba', wa i'jabul mar'i bi nafsi. Three things. You know, when we are working individually and when we work with organizations, sometimes we harm people. Sometimes from our tongue we disrespect others. Within even family, husband-wife relationship, parents-children relationship, children's-parent relationship, brother-brother relationship, we harm each other sometimes. So, to keep this tongue in control, actually this is coming from the heart. If the heart is in control, then things will be amazing. Things will be amazing. So we have to change the heart. And Allah is looking at the heart. So what Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Allah la yanzuru ila suwarikum wa ajsadikum. Allah will not be going to see your faces and your body. What He will be going to see? What he will be going to see? Yes. وَلَكِنْ يَنْظُرُ إِلَىٰ قُلُوبِكُمْ وَأَعْمَالِكُمْ. Allah will be going to see this heart. If this heart is surrendering in front of Allah or not. If the person is submitting himself in front of Allah or not. A lot of time we make lip service. We are standing in salah. We stand in salah and we make lip service. We don't know what we read. We don't know what we pray. We don't know. And a lot of people, when they are entering in salah, they enter with Allahu Akbar, and then they wake up when their imam is saying Assalamu alaikum and Assalamu alaikum. Actually, where is what part is in the state of sickness? Which part is in the state of sickness, my brothers and sisters? And in the words of Ibrahim alayhi salam, يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ, on that day of judgment, your mal, your money, and your children will not give you any benefit. يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. Except with those who are getting the heart qalbin salim, who is getting the heart qalbin salim. So, to change the heart, to purify the heart, this is one of the most important thing, and again, this is one of the most difficult thing as well. Because if the problem is here, and you are keeping this problem, you are watching the problem is here, till your death, then what will be the result? Because you will not have good relationship with anyone, because this heart is in problem. This heart is in problem. And that's why, my brothers and sisters, Allah will not be going to accept the dua. وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَسْتَجِيبُ دُعَاءً مِّن قَلْبٍ غَافِلٍ. Allah will not be going to accept the dua of the person. Allah will not be going to accept the prayer of a person whose heart is ghafil. Allah will not be going to accept the dua. To keep this heart intact with Allah, that was the mission of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he helped people to change the heart. We see a lot of brothers and sisters, they perform salah 5 times a day. We see people, those who are having beard. We see people, those who are wearing hijab. They perform all the actions as according to Islam. But unfortunately, the heart is still on the same position. It is not changed. Why? Why? Do you know why? Because the reason we don't have real contact with Quran. This Quran is Kalamullah. If we will be going to make the real contact with Quran, then this heart will be changed. This heart will be changed. So my brother, I'll be going to finish this 15-minute talk with this hadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sahaba, they asked from Prophet, Ayyun nasi afdal? Which people will be the best? Ayyun nasi afdal? Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Kullu makhmum al-qalb wa saduq al-lisan. Those which everyone who is pure of heart, makhmum al-qalb, and those people who are, when they are talking, they are sadiq wa saduq al-lisan. Their speech, when they talk with people, they talk truth. Then Sahaba, they asked from Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "O Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we know we know that sincere in speech. See, Prophet ﷺ told them in Arabic, and they were also Arab. They were also Arab. They said, we can understand the meaning of Saduq al-Lisan, but we don't understand the meaning of Mahmum al-Qalb. Then Prophet ﷺ was saying to them, he said, it's the heart that is pious, it is the heart that is pure. Mahmum al-Qalb, the heart which is pious and the heart which is pure. And then Prophet ﷺ said, with no sin, with no sin, with no sin and no injustice. No sin and no injustice. See, Prophet ﷺ is talking on qalb. With no sin, with no injustice, and no rancor or envy in it. Wala ghil, wala hasad. These four things Prophet ﷺ is mentioned. So my brothers and sisters, the tazkiyah for an organization and for an individual person, we need to make dua from Allah. So I recited two dua that Prophet ﷺ he used to make dua from Allah. One dua is Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min sharri nafsi. I will request all of you to repeat after me. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min sharri nafsi. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min sharri nafsi. And the second dua, Allahumma la takilni ila nafsi. Allahumma la takilni ila nafsi tarfata aini. So these two dua. Okay, my brothers and sisters, this occasion is Tarbiah. You have learned something, alhamdulillah, now, and you have a to-do list. What you have to do now when you are going back to your home. And the best thing was to write something. Unfortunately, I am not able to see pens and paper in the hands of someone. Tarbiah without pen and paper, impossible. Please do it in the next lecture. You are going to do, if you have any relationship with problem with anyone, just forgive him for the sake of Allah and call him today. I am repeating it again. If you have any relationship issue with anyone, forgive him or her for the sake of Allah and call him today. Okay, inshallah, this is to-do list. This will be really difficult, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خيرا.
बहुत शुक्रिया नो आरज़ी बारे थूतरे मिनिस्टरियन till salatul dohar jag ber nämna att de går ned i andra etasjen och kvinnor de kan be bak dessa stolarna.